Do negative thoughts and self doubt stop you from expressing yourself? What if you could transform that inner critic into a source of gentle creativity? This video offers a unique expressive art approach using ocean watercolors to help you stop your self critical voices, embrace imperfection, and experience the liberating power of art, giving you back control over your inner narrative. Welcome back to my channel. This is Deepika, and I'm here to help you slow down, release stress, and reconnect with yourself using watercolor techniques. Today, we are going to use watercolor to work with one inner critical thought. Take a small piece of paper or your journal. Write down one major critical voice that has been repeating in your mind lately. Maybe it says, I'm not good enough, I'm failing, I'm too late, I'm not capable, I'll never get this right. Whatever it may be. Just pick one and write the exact sentence. Now look at it. This is important. A thought can become so repetitive that we stop recognizing it as a thought. It starts feeling like a fact. But a critical thought is still an interpretation. This is not automatically the truth. Now, underneath your critical thought, write 3 positive, compassionate thoughts that you would want to practice. Not unrealistic statements, but make them believable and supporting. These are the thoughts we will bring into the painting. Take your watercolor paper, load your brush with clean water. At the bottom of the paper, create a small wet circle. Keep it concentrated. Now, choose a color that represents your inner critical thought. There's no correct color, just choose intuitively. Load your brush with that pigment and simply drop it into the wet circle. Watch this color spread. Let the pigment occupy that small space. This small circle represents the thought you wrote down. Sometimes a single thought can feel enormous. It can affect how we work, how we speak, how we create, even how we see ourselves. But look carefully. The thought is occupying a circle. It is present, but it has boundaries. This is where we begin. We are not denying the thought, we are seeing it, naming it, and giving it a place. And I want to make one thing clear. We are not trying to pretend that difficult thoughts never exist. We are practicing another internal response. Because when the critical voice is the only voice you hear, it can occupy your entire mental space. Today, we are going to visually remind ourselves that a thought can be present without becoming the whole of who we are. Now, clean your brush. Load it with water and create a larger circle around the first one. Then the bigger circle and then the another bigger circle. Allow each circle to become wider. Let the water carry the pigment outwards. Watch what happens. The color begins to dilute. The original pigment is still there, but as the container becomes larger, it no longer occupies everything in the same concentrated way. This is the central idea behind today's exercise. Your critical thought may be real as an experience, but it is not the totality of you. You are bigger than one difficult thought, bigger than one failure, bigger than one opinion, bigger than one moment when things did not work out. Keep expanding the circles slowly. Let the water move. You don't need perfect circles. Let them overlap, let them change shape. Allow the painting to guide the exercise. Imagine that you are creating more room inside your own mind. More room for perspective, understanding, and another voice. Research on self compassion describes it not as weakness or self indulgence, but as a supportive way of responding to ourselves when we experience difficulty, mistakes, or inadequacy. And that is what we are bringing to practice now. Not replacing ourselves with perfection, but making the container larger. Now choose the first supportive thought you wrote. For example, I am learning and growing. Choose a color that represents that thought. Now create drops of small wet circles somewhere on the larger painting. Place them randomly. Let them bloom, let them spread. Each drop represents another thought available to you, another possibility, another way of responding to yourself. If your inner critic says, I'm not good enough, your three thoughts could be, I'm learning and growing, my worth is not decided by one result, I can improve without attacking myself. Or if your thought is, I'm failing, you might write, one setback does not define my future. I can learn from this experience. I am allowed to begin again. Choose your own three sentences. Now take a clean brush and slowly connect these new colors back towards the center, towards the original circle. You don't have to make straight lines. Let the water find its path. It almost feels like you're showing compassion a way back to yourself. As you paint, remember, compassion is not saying that nothing needs to change. It is saying I can change without hating myself first. That is a very different way of moving forward. Psychologically, self-criticism is a pattern of negative self-evaluation. Research also suggests that compassion-based approaches can help reduce self-criticism and increase our capacity for self-soothing. Many critical voices also have a history. Sometimes they reflect messages we repeatedly received from parents, teachers, workplaces, relationships, or society. Sometimes criticism becomes internalized. A voice that once came from outside can eventually become a voice we repeat to ourselves. And sometimes that voice may believe it is helping us. It may think, if I criticize myself first, I can avoid failure. If I'm hard on myself, I'll improve. If I expect the worst, I won't be disappointed. But there's a difference between constructive self-reflection and constantly attacking yourself. One helps you grow, the other can keep you stuck. Today, we are going to create a visual reminder of that difference. Now, take your second compassionate thought. Choose another color for it. This time, place the drops a little closer to the center. the center where the critical thought began. Let the colors enter the space. Then use your clean brush and connect them back to the center, slowly. There's no need to rush. This is your visual instruction to yourself. The critical thought is not the only route available to me. There are other pathways, other responses, other possibilities. As you connect the colors, notice how the painting is changing. What began as one concentrated color is becoming something much larger. And that is exactly the reminder that we become so identified with one thought that we forget there are other parts of us too. The part that has survived, the part that keeps learning, the beautiful part that tries again, the beautiful part that knows how to care, the beautiful part that wants to grow. So, the inner critic is just a voice. It's not your entire identity. Take your third supportive thought. This one will come closest to the original circle. Choose your final color. Place the dots or small circles near to the center. And now slowly connect them, bringing the pathways home. This part can be done very slowly. Let your attention stay with the movement of the brush. One connection, then another. What you're creating is not just a painting, it is a visual reminder. You can meet criticism with another response. Not by pretending the difficult thought never happened, but by refusing to let it become your identity. Compassion-focused and self-compassion based interventions have shown promising evidence of reducing self-criticism. Though they are not a replacement for professional mental health support when that is needed. And this practice is simply one small way to begin noticing how you speak to yourself. If you're done, you can gently stop painting for a moment, step back, look at the page. At the bottom, we began with one concentrated critical thought. Then we expanded the space around it. Then we introduced 3 new thoughts. Thoughts that support you, encourage you, and help you move forward. Then we created pathways between them. And now the entire page has changed. The original circle is still part of the painting. We didn't erase it. We didn't destroy it. But it is no longer the whole picture. And I think that's important. Because overcoming self-criticism doesn't necessarily mean you will never hear that voice again. It means you begin to recognize, I don't have to believe everything that voice tells me. And I can answer myself differently. Whatever your painting looks like today, whether it looks like mine or completely different, that is yours. Your symbol, your reminder, your possibility. Take a final moment with your painting. Read the 3 thoughts you wrote. Then look at the center and say to yourself, this thought is a part of my experience. It is not all of me. I can grow without being cruel to myself. I can learn without constantly proving my worth. I can be compassionate and still move forward. What started as criticism has now been surrounded by compassion. Not because one painting can solve everything, but because Sometimes we need reminders in forms that we can see. And today, you created one. My lovely people, whatever you have created, keep it somewhere you can see it. Let it remind you that being hard on yourself is not the only way to grow. Sometimes growth begins when you stop fighting yourself and start finding your way back to yourself. I wish you a beautiful time ahead. Until we meet again, be kind to the person you are becoming. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. If you found this useful, share it with at least one person you care about. And do like, share. In case you practiced along with me, I would really love to know your experience after you practice this exercise. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I'll see you again.